Dear Benjamin says that the first thing to be done was to get back Peter's clothes, in order that they might be able to use the pocket handkerchief. They took them off the scarecrow. There had been rain during the night. There was water in the shoes, and the coat had somewhat shrunk. Benjamin tried on the tam-o-shanter, but it was too big for him. Then he suggested that they should fill the pocket handkerchief with onions as a little present for his aunt. Peter did not seem to be enjoying himself. He kept hearing noises. Benjamin, on the contrary, was perfectly at home, and ate a lettuce leaf. He said that he was in the habit of coming to the garden with his father to get lettuces for their Sunday dinner. The name of little Benjamin's papa was old Mr. Benjamin Burney. The lettuces certainly were very fine. Peter did not eat anything. He said he should like to go home. Presently he dropped half the onion. Little Benjamin said that it was not possible to get back that pear tree with a load of vegetables. He led the way boldly toward the other end of the garden. They went along a little walk of planks under a sunny red brick wall. The mice sat on the doorsteps, cracking cherry stones. They winked at Peter Rabbit and dear Benjamin Burney. Presently, Peter let the pocket handkerchief go again. They got amongst flower pots and flames and tubs. Peter heard noises worse than ever. His eye was as big as lollipops. He was a step or two in front of his cousin when he suddenly stopped. This is what dear Rabbit saw round the corner. Dear Benjamin took one look, and then, in half a minute less than no time, he hid himself and Peter and the onions underneath a large basket. The cat got up and stretched herself and came and sniffed at the basket. Perhaps she liked the smell of onions. Anyway, she sat down upon the top of the basket. She sat there for 5 hours. I cannot draw you a picture of Peter and Benjamin underneath the basket, because it was quite dark and because the smell of onion was fearful. It made Peter Rabbit and little Benjamin cry. The sun got round behind the woods, and it was quite late in the afternoon, but still the cat sat upon the basket. Old Mr. Burney had no onion whatever with cats. He took Tremble's jump off the top of the wall onto the top of the cat, and carved it off the basket, and kicked it in the greenhouse, scratching off a heartful of her. The cat was too much surprised to scratch back. When old Mr. Burney had driven the cat into the greenhouse, He locked the door. Then he came back to the basket and took out his son Benjamin by the ears and whipped him with a little switch. Then he took out his nephew Peter. Then he took out the handkerchief of onions and marched out of the garden. When Mr. McLeod returned about half an hour later, he observed several things which perplexed him. It looked as though some person had been walking out of the garden in a pair of clogs, only the footmarks were too demonstrative. Also, he could not understand how the cat could have managed to shut herself upon inside the greenhouse, locking the door upon the outside. When Mr. When Peter got home, his mother forgave him, because she was so glad to see that he had found his shoes and coat. Cottontail and Peter folded up the pocket handkerchief, and old Mrs. Rabbit strung up the onions and hung them from the kitchen ceiling, with branches of rose and the rabbit tobacco. The end.